I would like to thank one of my subscribers, Tanya E, for this story. If you've been with my channel for a while, you know that I have done stories on the low birth rate, and Japan is one of those locations where the birth rate is so low, the prime minister just gave them a warning. So let's get into this story. Japan PM warns country will cease to function as a society if population decline persists. It is bad over in Japan. Even when I was doing low birth rate videos, Japan was giving a free house to couples that had children. They were giving money and doing all kind, giving you a long length of time of leave for both the mother and father. They tried everything to try to encourage the people to have children, and it is just not happening, y'all. It is not happening. So this is what he said. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida declared a dire need for policy tackling the country's declining birth rate, calling it now or never. Japan is standing on the verge of whether we can continue to function as a society, Kishida told lawmakers at an opening of this year's parliamentary session on Monday, focusing attention on policies regarding children and child rearing is an issue that cannot wait and cannot be postponed. In recent years, Japan, a population of barely 125 million, has been facing a rapid decline in birth rate. So in 2022, the country saw a record low of less than 800,000 births. According to research published by The Lancet in 2020, at the current rate, Japan's population is expected to fall below 53 million by the end of the century. To address the issue, Kishida argued to double the government's fund for child related programs by June and reveal a plan to create a new children and families government agency, which is expected to begin operations in April of 2023. We must build a child first social, economic to reverse the low birth rate, the prime minister explained. So he is telling the public over there it is dire for them to start having babies, or he's pretty much letting them know Japan is on its way out if they don't start getting that birth rate up. Wow. Although the country's government has previously attempted to implement similar policies and incentives to encourage childbirth, they so far have been met with failure. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is so dire. Over in Japan, they got multiple towns with no residents. The houses are literally sitting there empty because they no longer have the population to fill all of the homes over in Japan. And some of the houses have been sitting there for a few decades unoccupied. It's that bad. So, as one of the world's most expensive places to raise a child, Japan's falling birth rates have been attributed to increasing living costs, more work, and education opportunities for women, greater access to contraceptives, a lack of exclusivity and individual freedom, corporate culture, and difficult economic conditions. And to the country's ongoing crisis, Japan's life expectancy has significantly risen. So they're saying it's reaching a median of 49 years with one of the oldest populations in the world, second only to Monaco. Japan's growing senior population signifies a declined number of workers and a possibility of losing a fifth of its population by 2050. However, despite Japan's crisis, residents and conservative government officials have remained hostile towards immigration. Yeah, every country, one thing I did learn over the years, every country on this planet don't embrace having immigrants. And Japan is one of those places, along with other countries. They don't want a bunch of immigrants. They don't want it. So, without them turning this whole thing around, I don't know if they even have a future at this point. They're really in the same boat as America, because America's biggest population are the elderly. And for some groups, once that elderly population goes, it's not going to hardly be that many of them left, you know? And yeah, there is a fear. And just listening to this prime minister, you can hear the fear in the words that he's speaking to the people over there. So he says, no, you got to do something now. We don't have time. If this keeps persisting, then the society will cease to exist. And he's right. And they're far from the only place on this earth in that shape. So, y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. I'm kind of glad the story, Tanya E sent me the story, because this is a precursor to the direction that many countries are going to be going in the near future. And really not that far off from a lot of this happening in a big way across the globe. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.